everybody. And we're going to give everybody a minute to get in here.
I was.
All right, let me play this. I got to share this link. And we are live. All right.
At the kitchen table by the pepper and the salt, you can begin your adventure where the warm waters halt. No harsh sun, no rain that pours. Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. It's safer and it goes much faster. It's more fun than playing canasta if you're wise and you find the blaze. You can play several times in just one day. Chase awfully, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase. Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase.
Always trying to get tickets. If anybody knows, no. The last one.
But you need Vegas. Now
What'd you say? Sorry.
I said there's no chat. Of course.
There's no chat. Yeah, there's
No chat.
Did you say chat?
C-H-A-T chat.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know how you're looking at it, but you might have to pop it out. Sometimes there's a pop-out button. All right, everybody. So as you can see, K-Pro is live, and I don't know what you would call it. What would you call it, K-Pro? Why don't you tell them where you're at? K-Pro's doing what treasure hunters do. You gotta have to hold it up because we can't hear you. You talk. Okay. You know, I lost.
So this is the only place. Yeah.
Go ahead. K-Pro is. Go ahead.
My thought. It's like I want to start out being told, and you don't know unless you do. I am. But I got to the point where I had searched so many times, my expectations were so low. It's like I'm not going to find it, but I'm still going to go. I don't care.
Yeah, we can hear Cynthia louder than you. I don't know why that is, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so we're going to try and get through it. K-Pro is boots on the ground, but more in a general way up in Yellowstone. We know the treasure's gone, so her and Cynthia, they're up there kind of on a little vacation. So why not? Why not go visit all the places once again, especially Cynthia. She's been everywhere up here. So I realized on Facebook, a lot of the groups I don't see anymore. Why is that? What's going on here? I don't know why that is.
I did not get an announcement.
Okay. Yeah, YouTube. I mean, yeah, Zoom and YouTube. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me post this out there, and we'll get into this. This might be a long one, everybody. It's a little bit to explain. So we're going to get it out here and get it going. We got some breaking news, which we'll get to. Yep. Okay. Okay. Give me a second, everybody. Actually, let's just do this.
K-Pro cow pow wow.
It is Monday night, right?
K-Pro cow pow wow wow. It's a K-Pro cow pow wow wow. They wanna find the treasure, they wanna find it now. They are K-Pro and they are cow. They're going over it and over it and over it again. This treasure hunt created by Forrest Fenn. Sing it! K-Pro cow pow wow. K-Pro cow pow wow wow. It's the K-Pro cow pow wow. Marion and Indy are what they're like, although their real names are Christy and Mike. Can they pin down the treasure? They just might. Tune in to find out Monday night.
Monday.
K-Pro cow pow wow. K-Pro cow pow wow wow. It's the K-Pro cow pow wow.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am Cowlazars. That is K-Pro. We go live. We talk about the Forrest Fenn trip. K-Pro's up in Yellowstone, so she is going to do what she can for the live show. You want to say anything to everybody while you're up there, K-Pro?
Yeah, it was interesting because those of you that don't know, how about that big campground there in Pebble Creek? Is that do I have the right name? Pebble Creek there at the end of the park? That looks like a big campground, and they would definitely still open.
Do me a favor. Lean in and talk. Lean in and talk. Whatever you're. I don't think your microphone's being used.
I know.
Yeah. So
can you hear me better now?
Yeah. There you go. For whatever reason, is not using that.
Okay. So anyway, that was the so anyway, so we came up here. We're looking for a nook. Literally, as we were driving in, Tony Henman was driving the opposite way. I texted him and said, "Was that you?" And he said, "Yep, I'm here." So we had a little searcher meetup last night. Justin came along. He has more equipment. It's so awesome. He was able to help. We're looking for a nook. We will be back out tomorrow to do the same thing. We're here for a couple of days, but we got some answers today, is all I'll say. It's not really, well, Cynthia's going to, I don't know. That's all I have to say on that.
All right, a little meetup, impromptu meetup in Yellowstone, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, everybody. First piece of breaking news that we have. Is it loud? Oh, I thought you were saying it's too loud. Okay. So our friend Michael O'Connell, you guys know Michael O'Connell. So in our interview we did with Forrest Fenn and Douglas Preston mentioned a police officer over there in Boston. I believe it was Boston or maybe one of the suburbs in Massachusetts. So that Michael O'Connell, he reached out to me and he actually got a statement from Douglas Preston. So let us read it right now. Let me bring it up. Things are going to be a little. Give me some time to get. It's been a long day for several different reasons. Okay.
Well, as you're doing that, people are asking, why are we out here? What are we looking for? We believe the nook still exists. The place the treasure chest was. There's a few of us that are interested in the solution. And Cynthia did a video, and I will say maybe some other information's coming together. So we decided to, why not? Do you guys want to know the solution? I say, Finder, good day, sir. We might not need you because you put out plenty of stuff that there's some things that need to be investigated. So that's what we're doing. So hopefully that clarifies. So we'll be here a little bit. We're talking to a few people. We did meet up with a media crew today as well. So there'll be more on that later as it develops. So that has been really busy. So I'm hoping we get a little time because there was a ton of stuff kind of discovered that we really got to figure out today or tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Cool. All right. So K-Pro's up there doing what treasure hunters do. You got to get out there. Everybody told me that, right? When I never had a boots on the ground, they're like, you got to go. You just got to go. Well, K-Pro did it. She just picked up and she went. So thanks for going, honey, even though I couldn't. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm making sure I did this right. Okay, so Michael O'Connell is the detective that is conversed. Don't touch, please. Don't touch, please. I already did breaking news. So as you can see, the boys are over today, Mr. Haircut. So Michael O'Connell reached out to Douglas Preston. He got a statement because there's been a lot of not controversy, but a lot of people have thought Douglas Preston had something to do with it. Did he write the article that the Finder posted? All those different kind of questions. So this is it. Thank you. Okay, here we go. It says, this is from Michael O'Connell. I got a hold of Douglas Preston regarding the Finder's story released recently. He wants people to know that he did not write it and does not know who actually recovered Forrest Fenn's treasure chest. He said the finder story was well written by whomever wrote it. He has no special information, and the whole Fenn treasure search is as much a mystery to him as it is to all the rest of us. Hope this helps some former searchers regarding any speculations. Douglas Preston was not involved in writing the supposed finder's story. So there it is. Thank you to Michael O'Connell. We do appreciate it that you reached out to Douglas and got a statement basically from him. What do you think, K-Pro? Is that what you thought all along, or did you think maybe Douglas had something to do with it?
I always think Douglas has something to do with it because that's the only thing that searchers agree on. I didn't know maybe if he helped because of what Kristen Rita said. I did not believe he actually wrote it. I believe one of the finders did. Oh, there's some breaking news. Boom. Oh, don't stop me.
All right, so that's the first breaking news for tonight, the statement by Mr. Douglas Preston. And thank you, Mr. Preston, for letting the community know. And Michael shared it with us because he knows we'll go live and we'll let everybody know what's up, which we just did. The other thing is I titled it The Solution ? And I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. What does that mean? What are you talking about? Well, we got a lot of solutions since it's been found. Me and K-Pro have, I don't know, 100 emails of people that have the supposed solution. You know, I didn't find it, but I know I was in the right area, that type of thing. And we kind of read them. And remember in the very beginning, K-Pro, we said, we're going to separate them. And once we know the right state, we'll revisit them. Well, now we know it's Wyoming. I know some people don't believe that, but Forrest said it's in Wyoming. So that's good enough for me. And we got a new email. I didn't actually have to go back through our other emails. There's somebody that reached out to us about where they believe it was found. And why are we going to present this solution instead of some of the others? And the answer for me is it's a little bit different than the others. The others are, I pick this lake as where warm waters halt. I pick this stream. I pick this as the home of Brown. This is different. And you guys will see as we present it. And that's what we're going to take some time here to do. Yeah, we understand long way to Tipperary. She's in a bar. We get it. You're just going to have to deal with it. You're saying it's a little hard to hear. It's a lot better than what it was, though, K-Pro. And I'm not going to say why.
And I just will say there's a quiet area and I can't get the connection. So it's either connecting with some noise, and I apologize, and I will mute. I'll try to be more in chat tonight. So we're just truly doing our best tonight because Mike wanted to go on live because he said he committed to you and you.
That's right.
And somebody in the chat said, I'm giving Michael the solution because you and Cynthia go without him. This has been a team effort. Michael doesn't do anything without me. So don't think you're going to break this up. Don't think you're going to throw that shade. It ain't happening.
We all kind of backed out.
I'm just kidding. I am exhausted with the amount of writing we did. But it was awesome. And did I tell you we figured out something?
Made the noise.
Not important, says K-Pro. You're live here, but why not on the webcam behind you? You can see it right on the wall right there. Yeah, there you go. Put some tape over it. Maybe he's watching from above. Okay. And you guys will see. Basically, why do we going to present this and not other ones? You guys can see. You guys can make your own decision, and if you think this is valid or not. And what's very interesting is this isn't a new idea. We've had this out there before, but this one's it changes it a little bit. So all I can do instead of trying to explain around it, why don't we just go ahead and say what it is? Is that right, K-Pro? Should we just say what it is? And did you get the chat back, by the way?
I am able to see the chat. I am.
So I want to do this first. A lot of people have thought Forrest Fenn was talking through the scrapbooks. A lot of people thought there were clues or hints, or he was directing things at certain people. And there's one very interesting scrapbook, and that is scrapbook 107. And some people just know, they're like, oh yeah, I know that scrapbook, but I'm going to bring it up and we're going to look at it for a minute because I want to kind of ease into this with a theory before we just jump right into what it is. Scrapbook 107 on Dale's blog. People just don't understand. Now, this is all the way back in November 2014. Do you remember this one, K-Pro? I know Cynthia said this is her favorite scrapbook. I think she said.
Oh, this is the one that I think everybody knew there was a clue. What was it? And we figured it, or this person figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Coffee spill, aisle 2. And the other thing is, remember that big long mathematical formula that somebody posted somewhere, and somebody said, Forrest said, if you solve this, if you resolve this, you get a hint. And the answer was 9. And 9 on a telephone is what letters, K-Pro? Number 9 on the telephone. Oh, it is WY for Wyoming. And now that we know the treasure was in fact in Wyoming, that's interesting. That was true. What he said was true. I'll give you a hint to the treasure. Does yeah. But anyway, that's separate from what we're talking about tonight. That just looking at the picture of this telephone that popped in my head. 9 is WXYZ. So you could say that the WY was the Wyoming because of the state initials. So this is Scrapbook 107. Don't you just hate that? Look at it. With copious people wandering by that spot, you'd think someone would pause for 2 seconds and untangle the poor phone cord. Why would anyone stand there talking and twisting the thing in the first place? It's so jumbled, the sound probably gets distorted going through it. And that's not all. There's always a right way. Notice he spells right the wrong way. He spells right way, W-R-I-T-E instead of R-I-G-H-T. There's always a right way to do something and a wrong one. Maybe I'm just too meticulous, but for me, it's important to keep my priorities straight. And then we've got the silverware. And he says, please don't tell me that I'm the only Homo sapien on the entire planet who cares about these things. And then there's this interesting address, folded over $5 bill. We've got a pen. It's been a bad day. I mean, besides my hair, which is kind of funny. That was kind of Forrest Fenn's humor, right? It's the last date to get my driver's license renewed or take both the stupid written test and the driver's exam. Just because I'm over 80, I have to do it every year. Is that true? I guess when you're over 80, you have to do it every year? Okay. So in my rush, now look at this. Instead of DMV, he put MVD. I don't know why that is. I mean, I'm sure that was debated back then in 2014. In my rush to get over to the MVD, I ran out of gas. It was right in the middle of the busiest street in town. And because I forgot to plug my idiot phone in, I had to just sit there until the honks brought every cop in town to my location. So isn't it interesting? He talks about that spot. He talks about the location. Big deal. You thought I robbed a bank or something. A cab brought me home, and I'm resting comfortably by Tasuki and my warm little fire, but I guess they towed my car to the Walmart parking lot. That's okay, because I don't ever plan to drive again. I'll just stay home and keep my eye on the telephone lines. Okay, he's obviously trying to communicate something. Back then, I had no idea what it was. I mean, I read this, and I thought, I don't get it. But in light of this little solution that's come our way, I wonder if it ties in to what he's saying. But I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. First, we read the scrapbook. Then we talk about a couple things. Then we'll go back to the scrapbook and see if you guys can piece it together. Okay. Then we go to the poem, right? There's one line in the poem, and a lot of people have thought, where he says, so hear me all and listen good. There was something going on with when you speak the poem, the way you hear it. Okay. And if you go back to that scrapbook, isn't that what he says? Sound probably gets distorted going through it. If he's kind of referencing the poem in a secret way, he says sound probably gets distorted going through it. Someone would pause for 2 seconds and untangle the poor phone cord. Hear me all and listen good. Basically, the gist of what we're talking about. And you know what? Before I even get to that point, I'll switch over to the thrill of the chase. I did a vlog years ago about if you're going to hide a treasure, what's the best way to get to it? If you're going to hide a treasure, and I want your opinion, K-Pro, if you're going to hide a treasure and somebody says, if you follow the clues precisely, it'll take you right to it. What's the best way that as treasure hunters, we could go and find that treasure?
Maybe a GPS, something to get
Yeah.
a GPS.
Yeah.
You need a GPS.
Latitude, longitude. And in the thrill of the chase, there's a couple things that I believe, especially in light of some recent things we're going to go over, I think they might have been the subtle hints. Let me bring up the thrill of the chase real quick. You think I would have had that ready already, but no, I didn't. In the thrill of the chase, he talks about latitude. He says, give me latitude, I believe it was called. He talks about long-sightedness. He talks about his mother was always right, and that was because of her long-sightedness. Longitude, long-sightedness, maybe. He talks about seconds and minutes. He'd say as soon as the second and the minute hand hit 8 o'clock, his father would tell him, get into bed. And in that vlog I made a long time ago, I was like, whenever you hear seconds and minutes in a story, a treasure story, it makes you think of minutes, seconds, and degrees. Okay. So I guess I don't need to bring up the book. I think you guys know that stuff is in the book. because we've discussed it before. We've said 36 inches long, Olga's bathtub. The long could have been a hint to longitude. It just sounds weird. And he says these are subtle hints. Okay. Now I know what people are probably saying. We've already been through this. People have thought there's GPS coordinates in the poem for a long time. But we're going to go through one way to find them, and it's a way I had never heard of before. And Forrest Fenn Aftermath says GPS just takes you right there, doesn't it? He says, why any clues at all? Well, and when we get to the end of this, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 9 clues as we know them, and then possible GPS coordinates. Basically,
And lots of people have discussed double meanings. So it's not just GPS. It could be GPS with a double meaning of the hints. Because it's not that easy. It is difficult, but not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to throw that in.
But think about a couple things Forrest has said over the years. The person who finds it will walk with confidence. If you follow 9 clues precisely. Oh, hey, Cynthia. If you follow 9 clues precisely, it will take you right to it. The person who finds it will say, what took me so long? I mean, to me, this isn't could this lake be where warm waters halt and that building be the home of Brown and blah, 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 blah. This is a precise, you walk right to it. And that's what we're going to go over to right now. That would be the thrill of the chase, 3D bronze. Okay, let's go back to scrapbook 107 with the GPS thought in mind. Don't you just hate that? Look at it with copious people wandering by that spot. You'd think someone would pause for 2 seconds. Again, GPS has seconds in it, and untangle the poor phone cord. Why would anyone stand there talking and twisting the thing in the first place? It's so jumbled. The sound probably gets distorted going through it. And that's not all. There's always a right way to do something and a wrong one. And this brings us to a little word called homophone. How many people out there know what a homophone is? A homophone is basically, well, actually, you know what? Instead of me botching it, I'm going to look it up and give you guys the definition. A homophone. And I know somebody out there is going to go, that was my solve. I had that way back when. And that's fine. This is not new. People have thought about this. Me and K-Pro did not come up with this. We got this sent to us by somebody who we're not going to name. Each or two or more words having the same pronunciation but different meanings, origins, or spelling. What are some examples? Add, ale, aisle, with an I and with an A, all. So what Forrest did right here is he put in a homophone, write, W-R-I-T-E, and write, R-I-G-H-T. Okay. And then maybe I'm just too meticulous, but for me, it's important to keep my priorities straight. And then right here, he uses the word homo sapien. Isn't it interesting? He says, please don't tell me I'm the only homo sapien on the entire planet who cares about these things. If you're trying to give the idea of a homophone to searchers through a scrapbook, there's not too many words that have the word homo in it that you could use other than homo sapien. So here's homo sapien, and right here's a picture of a phone, homophone. And right here, he uses a homophone, okay? So what I believe his hint was that when you read the poem, you've got to look at the words a little bit differently, or there's something hidden in the poem. Hear me all and listen good. We've got to listen when we read it, okay? And then look at the bottom. It's been a bad day. I mean, besides my hair, it's the last date to get my driver's license renewed or take both the stupid written test and the driver's exam. Because I'm over 80, I have to do it every year. Now, I don't know about MVD. I don't know why he changed the letters around. Unless MVD is a New Mexico thing for DMV that I'm unaware of. It was right in the middle of the busiest street in town. And I forgot to plug my idiot phone in. I had to just sit there until the honks brought every cop in town to my location. How else do you get to a location with GPS? If his phone was on, yes, he could call somebody. But if his phone was on, how do they triangulate a phone to get to a location? GPS, right? You know, you always hear the theory about somebody's kidnapped, but they triangulated their cell phone. The police were able to figure out where they were by using cell towers, and you use GPS for that. Big deal. You thought I robbed a bank or something. Cab brought me home, but I guess they towed my car to the Walmart parking lot. That's okay because I don't ever plan to drive again. I'll just stay home and keep my eye on the telephone lines. The homophone, the telephone lines. So it just seems like it's a hint of some kind to GPS. What do you think, K-Pro?
It wasn't me
Homo
that got
sapien
shot.
and then
It was
phones,
the guy that
homophones, right.
It was a real muddy road. I never should
It
have
seems
tried
so
to do
obvious.
it.
Why didn't I
It's
think
like,
of
I'm gonna
that?
try to get up to the highest point.
Yeah, at the time I didn't think of it. Now, and people are pointing out that it's the Motor Vehicle Department. It is MVD. I've always heard it as DMV for Department of Motor Vehicles, MVD. So it's fine. He didn't. That was not wrong. Thank you, everybody. Not a hint there. He's talking about driving and getting his driver's license renewed. But could there be a little hint to GPS? That's the question. In that scrapbook, is he hinting at homophones of some kind? Which to me is when you say a word like right, you really mean something else. Right, R-I-G-H-T, right hand, right. It's writing, not right. Okay? All right. So then we look at the poem and we say, how can you apply that to the poem? Right? Everybody with me so far? K-Pro, are you with me so far?
Yeah, a little loud. But yes, I am with you. I agree that makes sense in that scrapbook. So where GPS, where do we go next, Cowlazars?
I'm too loud, or where you're at is too loud? Yeah, where you're at. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So then we go to the poem and we say, well, if there's homophones in the poem, what what could they be? Like when you read this, and everybody in the world has done this one. Too far to walk. That is number 242, right? Can't hear you, K-Pro. You're muted. Say it again. You were muted.
And of course,
I'm not talking.
he's used to being able to drive. his
And I'm
truck
looking at the
anywhere, too.
replay, which is
And we
delayed.
got
Yeah.
one way up the hill that would
Yeah,
have
I
been
don't
the
know what
very
you're talking
top.
about. So, but
And
too far,
he couldn't
far
go
is
forward
not
anymore. So he said,
it's
"Well,
close,
it's
but it's not a
reverse."
homophone.
But it just as an example, a lot of people have said 242, too far to walk. It sounds, and remember, hear me all and listen good. So this could be a little hint to us on how we're supposed to read the poem. And a lot of people have said too far to walk. This is 242. The end is ever, I'm trying to think of another one that's been common ones. But what was sent to us is this. And I'm just going to go ahead and quit beating around the bush and show you guys what it is. And we want your opinion. Email kpro3@aol.com. No, email me. I want to know your opinion. I'm the try the wheel guy. This is the kind of stuff I like. You could say this is a code or a cipher almost, right? A homophone, I guess. So email cowlazars@gmail.com and let me know what you think. And here we go. Okay. Let me move that out of the way and do it one at a time. First off, where do we begin the poem? We begin it in the line where he says begin it, right? So this is where we start. Begin it where warm water's halt and take it in the canyon down. To me, this is 2. This is the number 2. Far doesn't sound like a number. The other 2 is 2. So this is 2-2. Okay, we've got 2 2s in this line. Put in below the home of Brown, and then we have another 4. This is 4. So let's do it this way so everybody can kind of keep up or see what we're talking about. That's a number 2. That's a number 2. Telling the kids to hush it. We're going over the poem. Hey. Okay, 4. And okay, so 4 is 4. 4 is 4. And again, this is not new. People have done this before, right? And then so basically, if you use it once, if this is the number 4, every time the word 4 appears, it's got to be a 4. You can't pick and choose which ones you use. Okay. So if we go down, and then the same with 2. If TOO and TOO is 2, wherever there's 2, that number has to be a number 2. I mean, that follows a pattern, right? You can't pick and choose. So this is a 2. Down here, down here again, we have a 4 and a 2. Let's go down. Now, done, in the word done is the word 1. And you could say, well, that's not a homophone, but it's not. But you could look at how it's spelled and say the number is in the word, okay? And for me, if Forrest Fenn's crafting it this way, and that's a big if, I could see it that way. When you can see a word, and then this was 4 and 2, to me, that's valid, but that's just my opinion. You guys say it's horrible, you hate it, but that's fine. So hear me all and listen good. That was our little, and then his scrapbook is kind of saying, hey, read it a certain way. And listen, there's the word 10. So that, in fact, why are we putting it in orange? I don't know. That, in fact, could be 10. Effort, there's a 4. Just like there's a 4 here. 4 is in the word effort. So that's going to be a 4. And then 2, title 2, the gold. That's another 2. And then here's the interesting part. Remember, everybody says, well, if we start here, what are the other stanzas for? When you get to the end, you start back at the beginning. You go back up to the top. You begin it with these latitude, longitude numbers. You begin it here. You go to the end of the poem and you wrap around back to the top. And at the top, we have 2. We have 1, 1. A lot of people have said this over the years, right? Gone alone is 1, 1. Okay. So we have a 1, 1. We have a 2, 2. We have a 4. We have a 2. We have a 42, a 1, a 10, a 4, and a 2. Well, what are we supposed to do with those numbers, K-Pro? That just seems like a mess, doesn't it?
I think those look like GPS coordinates, Cowlazars.
Well, but I mean, where do you start? I mean, how do you make these valid GPS coordinates? Well, what's interesting is there could be a word in the poem that tells us what to do. You could even call it, what could you call it, K-Pro? You could even call it a word that is key.
A keyword that's in the poem. What did he say it was in the poem?
Yeah. You could say there's a word that's more important than the others in the poem. And we're going to show you what it is right now. And you might like it and you might hate it, but it's interesting. I will say that. Just like Try the Wheel was interesting. If you go through the poem right here, there'll be no paddle up your creek. Let's change that to green. And right here, because we're looking for words, numbers, we're looking for in other words, like the 10 in listen, the 1 in done. In paddle, you've got add, and you've got up, right? Paddle up. Let's bold this, because if this is true, if this is the actual what Forrest had in mind, it's pretty huge. The word that's key is paddle because there's add. And in case we don't know what he meant, he even added the word up next to the word paddle. So we want to add up the numbers. That's kind of the trick to this, is you got to add up the numbers. What numbers? What do we add up? Any numbers that are on the same line, you add them up. So 2 plus 2 is going to equal what? It's going to equal 2. I mean 1 plus 1. Sorry about that. And 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4. Right? Of course it is. Why? Because he told us right there to add up the numbers and there'll be no paddle up your creek. 4 is just 4.
This is so easy. A kid could do it. This could be easy for a kid.
If Forrest, okay, let's talk about it. Before we get to the end of this, let's just talk about it. Follow the clues precisely. It will lead you right to it. The person that figures it out will say, what took me so long? We'll walk right to it with confidence. With the literal and ambiguous clues in the poem of where warm waters halt and the blaze and Homer Brown, heavy loads, how is that confident? You got to go and you got to search and you got to search and you got to search. Okay. So this is a different way of looking at the poem based on a couple things that he said. All right. And when we asked him, when we finally got him to admit that the word that is key, there's in the poem, there's a word that will help you more than the others. He said, but you need all of them. One won't get you there. And I wonder if he meant the numbers. You need all the numbers. Just one number is not going to get you there. Once you figure add up is related to numbers, you got to have all of them. All right. Have you been watching the chat at all or no?
Yes, and the room hates it, and that's okay. But we knew Mike would like it because he was trying to week, okay. So we're going to continue going because it's interesting for me.
That's why I put solution, question mark, question mark, question mark. I didn't put solution, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. It's a theory, guys. It's a theory like anything else. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it. See if it, now the other thing is if it's that long, where does it lead us? I mean, you know, it can't just be random numbers. So we add up. We did get a super chat from his 3D bronze. Well, don't mess with my poem. 3D bronze brings up what Forrest said was don't mess with my poem. I don't think this is messing with the poem. We haven't touched the poem. We're just reading it a certain way. We're taking numbers out of the poem. But, you know, to each their own. And again, I'm not saying this is the solution. I'm saying this is a possible solution out of many. Okay. 1 plus 1 is 2. And it's weird that in the first stanza is 1 + 1. In the second stanza is 2 + 2. And the third stanza is a 4, which there is no plus there. It's by itself, 4. Then he says, add up. There's a 2. 4 + 2 is what, everybody? 4 + 2 = 6. 1 is 1. 10, 4, and then 2. So with lat long, you need a longitude and you need a latitude. And again, I go back to the thrill of the chase where his mother had long-sightedness, 36 inches long. You know, there were little hints that I believe could point the minute, the second hand, or the second, I think he said the minute hand hit 8 o'clock. And do you guys remember the 8:00 clock? And then in other places it was 08:00. And people are like, why did he write it both ways? Usually if you say 8 o'clock, it's just 8 o'clock. You don't have to put 08:00 o'clock. 08:00. Maybe he was talking about minutes and degrees. I don't know. Tony says, is Cynthia there, K-Pro? I think we're about to find out. Hey, there she is. She probably hates this solution. Give me 1 second. Oh,
There are others here, but I will show them after this incredible solution that brings you to a GPS in Wyoming.
does it? Or maybe, or does it? Or is it in Toledo, Ohio? I don't know. We're about to find that out. Okay, so we added up like this says. No paddle up your creek. 1 + 2. So then the numbers we get are 2, 4, 4, 2, 6, 1, 10, 4, 2. Now what do we do with that? Well, if you were beginning it where warm waters halt, this is the first number. So we've got a 4. I'm wondering where I can type this out at. Let's use Notepad. How about that? And again, I have some questions for you guys that maybe you guys know a little bit about lat long or using a GPS. I've never owned a GPS. If our numbers are 4, because we're beginning it here where the poem tells us to 4, and then another 4, and then 2, and then 2, and then 6, and then 1, and then 10, and then 4, 2, 4, 2, and then we go back to the top, which is 2. Is that a GPS? Like, how does that work? Well, somebody told me once that if you have minutes, seconds, and degrees, if one of those, if the seconds, or I'm sorry, maybe if the degrees is 0, 0, you don't put them in the number. It's a given. Does that sound right to anybody? Because if I separate this like this, 44, 26, and then as you guys may know that are into Latin long, 110 is definitely in the search area, 42 and 2, but we're missing a number, and that would be 0, 0 right here. Okay. 42, 26, 0, 0, 110, 42, 2. And when you read off is it common to omit the zeros is what I'm asking if in a lat long? Because he omitted them in the poem.
Can you make it much, much bigger? And I will ask someone that might know about that happens to be here. I will ask him in just a moment.
Right. Yeah, you think I'd do that, huh? All right. Okay, let's do it this way because that ain't going to work. Let's go down to Word and make it really big. Ba, ba, ba. There, is that better? I hope. Okay. And then remember, these are the words in the poem that we've added up when they're on the same line, because add up, paddle up could be the word that's key. Add in paddle. Maybe. It's
okay.
A theory.
So Mike's asking a question, and I have someone named Justin.
Hey, there he is.
And he's saying, hey. So put that right back up, Mr. Man.
Okay, sorry.
That didn't help us. So in GPS coordinates, there's this solve that Mike's going through, and it was 44, 26, 110, 42, 2, and there's no 0, 0. Okay. So to be able to get whatever that is, minutes, seconds, whatever it is it common just to put the 0, 0 on?
Standards dictate that you do, but commonplace, a lot of people look at it.
A commonplace, a lot of people omit it, so that would be, yes, that would be okay to add the 0, 0 to get that to be a total one. So Justin says yes. If you guys don't like it, chat room, you don't like Justin's answer.
Yes. It's all in context.
It's only context. He's saying now he's putting qualifiers. He's backtracking a little bit. And
email Justin at
if you're following strict standards, you always explicitly include it.
Okay, if you're following strict standards, like the 85-15 rule, strict standards, included. But could you figure it out and include it if you needed to do that 15% rule, like Forrest says?
Yeah, right.
But didn't Forrest say not to use those 0 zeros?
Oh, you're such a
Ah,
jerk.
that was right after dip your toe in it, right? He said, don't use 0, 0. Funny. Okay, so then the question becomes, is it leading?
Somebody asked about overcooking. Is this overcooking the poem?
Yeah, maybe. You guys tell me. But what's very interesting is now that we know it, the state that it's supposed to be in, this in fact does lead to a state we're supposed to be in. The other thing, and this is a stretch. I know this
Inside or outside the park, Mike?
This is inside Yellowstone, everybody. Hang on. These lat longs take you inside Yellowstone National Park, and we're going to look it up here in a minute. But let me say something else. So hear me all and listen good, homophone. Scrapbook 107 was a hint to homophone. So, and I hate to show this one because this one I think is a super stretch, but I'm going to show it anyway. And that
Wait,
is
someone just said the OO is the double omega. That's the OO.
right. Well, that's not in the poem. If we're trying to get numbers out of the poem, there's no zero. Unless somebody smarter than me can figure out the OO.
He's trying to help us because we're stupid. It was 10 years.
Yeah, so they even pointed out it's degree minute second. I didn't even know it was degree minute second is what that stands for. Yes. So let me show you guys something. And this is like try the wheel, but I'm going to show it anyway because you make your own decision. We present the info and you make your own decision. If you take the poem and you take the spaces out in alone, it's got LON for longitude right here, right? LON, because you're like, well, how are we supposed to figure out longitude, latitude? LON right there for as I've gone alone in there. Maybe longitude, maybe if you can't figure out long-sightedness and 36 inches long, and the word latitude is in the Thrill of the Chase book right here, and longitude is east-west, right? Longitude is east-west. Latitude goes up and down. Latitude is north-south. And at the very bottom of the poem, if you take the spaces out, there's LAT right here. That spells latitude right there. So, you know, it's one of those where you either believe it or you don't. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just presenting the info out there. And I know everybody wants me to zoom in, right? Let me see here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There. Long, maybe for longitude is in alone. And then at the very bottom of the poem, LAT for latitude. I don't know if it's true or not, guys. You gotta come up with your own on that one. And then this would be north and this would be west, right? Because if it's south and east, it's going to be way the heck over in China somewhere, I think. So north and west. So let's see where this ends up. And does it make any sense or is it just too far-fetched? Let's go here. Let's go to Google Maps and see where it leads us. We go up here and we put in, no, go dog, go away dog. Where is this, K-Pro? This is Yellowstone National Park and 44 degrees, 26 minutes, 00 seconds north, 110 degrees, 42 minutes, 2 seconds west puts us right here. And this is by the Yellowstone calderas right here. Shoshone Lake is right here. I mean, this is a popular, this is Old Faithful's right there. Think if the treasure was here, how many people have been by it over the 10 years? Yeah, there it is. I mean, the question really that I have is, could Forrest have been clever enough to double encode the poem? Where if you figure out the 9 landmarks, where Warm Waters Halt, Homo Brown, and all that, could it lead to the same place that he has also included or embedded these GPS coordinates in the poem? What do you guys think in the chat?
So the chat hates it, but I can say maybe. I mean, I think it's interesting. I don't think we can say it's wrong. I know lots of people are like, it's wrong. You don't have the chess. I don't know. I don't know is the answer. I think it's interesting. I knew you would like it because you're like the try the wheel, line up things and get stuff. I do have to say, the one thing I like is get you to an exact location. It doesn't, you're going there with confidence if you have that GPS. That's all I'm saying.
And when the finder says, I figured out where Forrest Fenn wanted to die, wouldn't the GPS accomplish that? If they figured the GPS out in the poem, it's like, I know the area. Now I just got to go there and look everywhere with a metal detector or whatever. And he says it took him 25 days and all that. I just wonder if that's what happened. They figured out these GPS coordinates and went there, and that's how they found the chest. Maybe they also figured out the 9 clues. Maybe not. You know, I don't know. Hopefully someday we know, but right now we don't know. You can use Jeep Girl Jody. How you doing, Jody? Says you can use 104.2 instead of 110 West. Why? Why would we do that? Maybe there's something going on in the poem. Minotaur Moreno says, no way coordinates are involved. I tried for 5 years. But did you find these coordinates, Minotaur Moreno? Because isn't Ojo Caliente close to this, and the fire hole? I mean, all this is in play. This is like the search area, right? Where all these things are. I mean, all those could fit.
It's a bit past, it's right past Isolate. But yeah, they're Yellowstone. This is very close by Fishing Bridge, which Forrest says was one of those.
Which what?
Fishing Bridge.
Oh,
Which
I
is
said
where the finale was.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's about an hour from West Yellowstone. It's about an hour drive from where everybody was for the finale, for the meetups up here. It's just an interesting idea. It's 59 minutes. It's an hour. You go through Old Faithful. And ISA is here, and ISA is the Continental Divide, right? And could that be?
It is not only the Continental Divide. How does the poem begin? As I've gone alone in there. A-S-I spelled backwards is ice. Oh my gosh, we figured it out. It's been out there for years, guys. It's nothing ground.
Well, somebody did figure it out, and somebody retrieved the chest. We're just trying to see if we can figure it out because they haven't put out the solution yet. So yeah, if Continental Divide is where warm waters halt, it's so. I mean, could you, if this is the right location of the chest, can you backward engineer the clues? I guess that's kind of the question for everybody. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Email me at cowlazars@gmail.com. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's interesting, and that's why I wanted to put it out there. But I know people have gotten GPS coordinates out of the poem. I don't know if anybody's added them up because of paddle up your creek, add up the numbers, the numbers that are on the same line. But isn't it weird that it puts us right in Yellowstone where a lot of us have believed it was already? Can that be a coincidence?
Right next to the Continental Divide, right next to Fishing Bridge, right next to, I mean, I'm going out there tonight. I mean, I'm going right now.
Well, let me show you guys this, because if this is true, and Forrest is a genius if this is true, that he was able to double encode the poem with 9 literal landmarks, but then a GPS using this wordplay, these homophones. So you can't pick and choose. So here's what we're going to do. Whenever there's the word one, that's a number. So let's make sure we didn't miss one. So we've got 1 there. We've got 1 there. So there's 2 here, 1 and 1. 1 is in the word gone, and 1 is in the word alone. And then 1 is in the word done. So gone, alone, and done. Okay. And then we go. And then if anybody sees a word, a number that I missed, let me know. I mean, either in the chat or because then it kind of kills it when there's something else. If these are the only numbers you can pull out of the poem, to me, that gives it a little bit more credence. So TOO is 2. Is there any other instance of TOO? Nope, it's only in there once. And then also TO. So TO, we've got 2, 2. We've got 2, 2, and 2. So every time the word 2 is in the poem, I should probably zoom in here, huh? Every time the word 2 is in the poem, we're using it. It's not like we're picking and choosing what we're considering numbers out of the poem. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. Add up, because paddle up, the word that's key could be paddle. That's telling you to add up the numbers that are on the same line. 2, 4, 2, 1, 10 by itself. 10. It would be hard to do 5, 5, 5 to add them up, I think. So 10. Effort, F-O-R, and then 2. I mean, it's all there. Those are the numbers. And when you the other cool thing is the question mark is what divides.
Okay, Randy just says he digs it. All of you Cipher guys, you're digging this, right?
But here's the other cool thing, which makes you think it could be a pattern. We begin it in this stanza, and when we get to the question mark, that's where it switches to longitude. This is latitude. 4, 4, 2, 6. And then, which is before the question mark, 4, 4, 2, 6, and then you add 0, 0. We've heard it. Maybe it's common practice where you don't actually explicitly state 0, 0 when it is. After this little question mark right here, it's like a divider. Then it changes from latitude and it changes to longitude. We change that to blue. And then the longitude is 1, 10, 4, 2, and back up is 2.
Wait, so punctuation matters.
Yeah, punctuation matters. That's right. How many times? And when Forrest made the comment, "Don't mess with my poem," he was answering a question about punctuation. Now you could say, "But you spaced it and you see lat and long." Well, don't do all that. Just when you read the poem, especially after Scrapbook 107, when you read the poem and you're like, "He's telling us something here. Something's going on." If his phone was turned on, he wouldn't have to honk the horn because they'd know his location. And a phone uses GPS, right? GPS coordinates with cell towers. Forrest was the genius. That's all I'm saying.
Homo sapien and phone, homophone. This is over. Like, what took us 10 years? This is
Well,
amazing.
it's a little too late, too little too late. But if we actually just gave the solution that the actual finder used, I think that's good for the community that we got it out there. Codebreaker Charlie, that's right. I should have wore the who.
Well, and is that spot less than a mile from the road?
Minotaur Moreno says, with enough imagination, you can find a 42 and a 110 anywhere with a bunch of letters. Right, but you have to do it with Forrest Fenn's poem. And that's what I'm asking. Can anybody else say, well, what isn't this a number? I don't see any other numbers when I read the poem. TOO is 2, number 2, TO number 2, FOR. I mean, you could say if you change the letters around in there, it's 3, but we're not changing any letters around, right? So, you know, Forrest Fenn's not a master code breaker guy, but I think he would be smart enough to understand that if he wanted to hide a treasure, he's got to figure out a way to include GPS. Now, we don't know if the treasure chest was right there at these GPS coordinates, but maybe that's a starting area. Maybe that's a way to find the Continental Divide, and that's where warm waters halt or something, you know. But the whole question is, are those lat long numbers intentional? And maybe it's just a lat long to the park. You're in Yellowstone Park. That's the question. Yeah. And then Space Ghost says, if it was inside the park, why wasn't it turned in? This opens up legal issues. Well, not if you just take it and leave.
If you take it and leave and return it to its rightful owner, and this goes along with what he said to Cynthia, if you return it to its rightful owner, there's not a legal issue. What if there wasn't a legal issue?
Yeah, and that is what Forrest has said. What if there isn't a legal issue? So luckily, Forrest was still alive. The finder took it to him, returned the property to the rightful owner, that type thing. I don't know if that satisfies legal issues or not. You are changing letter, though. Far does not for unless you change. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, but we are not using far. I did not use far for a 4 because you're right.
You did at the beginning, and that's why it got confusing. You
As
took
an
that
example,
out
I did.
as an example of what not to do.
All we did is use 2 and 2. We are not using far. And I think a lot of people that had this idea use 2, 4, 2. And maybe that's why I threw them off. So again, these are actually, I can tell you the numbers right here. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see what else. What else can we show? Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to show anything else. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Everybody's gonna have to make their own decision on if they believe it or not. But
well, wait. Now, Montanan says those numbers are on page 99. 1112 or 3.
page 99 in the book.
Someone ever
Yeah, I
asked me
think that's the famous page 99. I think everybody can see something. But maybe. I don't know. I think it's all interesting. Mike, I love this one. Maybe I'll pick one that I love and share it with you guys. And you guys can all say, no, that is not the right one. Because yours is down in New Mexico and you use rhyming words.
Right. I mean, Sarah Rock says, are you planning on going to the GPS location? I'm not, because I'm not in Yellowstone, but that's me. Anyone have Once Upon a While? Yeah, I have it over on the shelf. 4426 is on page 57, John Fales says. And that's interesting. I mean, are these numbers in the Thrill of the Chase also? We're kind of randomly, but those are the GPS numbers we pull out. I don't know. Uh-oh, David Bradshaw says, can I call? I don't know if we're going to have time to open the phone lines. We'll see. Go ahead, K-Pro.
Well, no, I mean, I think this one's interesting. Are we shooting any video out there? When maybe we are, Tony. Maybe we are. You don't know. We're doing lots of things. I said earlier we did meet with the media group, and we have just lots going on. And it's really cool. And there are some leads and thoughts on the Nook location. We're Nookers. The Nookers are the ones looking for the Nook, and especially I think the weather's starting to change. That's what we're doing right now. And we'll bring it to you. If we get anything, we're going to bring it to you. The one thing I did want to say, and I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me, Cynthia broke that she had Once Upon a While all of the differences, and she got that from Forrest. I was there the day that she got that from Forrest. I can tell you it's 100% true. Some people are like, oh, did she make up some of the doodles? No, I was there, and he handed her all of that. Not only the book, but the extra doodles that they were going to use, the ones that they didn't, etc. It was awesome. I'm so glad she shared it. I wanted her to break it on our show like a year ago. She's ready now, and so she gets to do that. It's hers, so she gets to do that. I'm grateful she did it. Thank you, Cynthia. We'll watch this later. Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia Beecham, if that's your real name.
Just give this one other one. This is from one of the 6 questions that Jenny Kyle did with Forrest. It's one of his posts. Look at it when you read it this way and see what you think. So this is Forrest, basically his answer. Let me zoom in here. Says, I'm probably not different from most men my age. Retirement gives time to just remember and contemplate. I enjoy wondering how my life would be. He does all this little story. When I was about 6, our house burned down. But look at all the numbers that are in here if you do the same thing you're doing with the poem. And you can say, well, he's just telling the story. But look what he says at the very end. I could go on with this, Jenny, but already there's too much. Sorry. I wonder if he's saying, I can keep giving you examples of these numbers and words, but already I've given you enough. There's too much. So it's just, it's a theory. Is it true? It would be nice if we could ask him, but we can't now. I mean, 10, 8, 2nd Street, 2. It's just weird. What was he saying through his answers to all the questions and through the scrapbooks? What was he trying to tell us? Let me see if there's anything else that I missed. You guys know you love it. Even if you don't love it, you really do love it. It's like try the wheel. I get it. But wouldn't it be awesome that Forrest was that smart that he could double encode the poem? You could find the chest 2 ways. GPS to walk right to it, or figure out what these 9 ambiguous clues are that had everybody in 4 different states. Sarah Rocks, how are you? And you know what, K-Pro, we were going to give away the AGK book tonight, but I think I'm going to wait till you're back in town. So the video that we did last Thursday is the video you have to comment on, and then we'll use Comment Picker to get somebody the AGK book and the coin.
So he's up against
and Mike, looks like there is a solution going boots on the ground for AGK. We have a partner. I got that one. I got that one. So that one's next.
So we're partnered with somebody. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, I think I know who it is. Was there a post on Facebook recently about it?
I don't know, but you partnered with somebody on Mr. Blues without telling me. Oh,
yeah. That's cool.
There is something, it makes it, I won't say 100%, but it's really, really obvious. It's like, oh, wow.
I don't even know what it is because she's afraid I'm going to go live with breaking news and tell everybody. So, all right, we'll talk when you get back. AGK, that'd be awesome for somebody to go boots on the ground. So you know what? Maybe you stay at home and I go boots on the ground on this one.
That would be awesome because I'll travel with Cynthia. I would need to travel with the guy. I don't want to travel with the guy. No offense to the guys. And Mike totally trusts me. But boom, it would be awesome. And I think
would be.
Like, I think you guys would get along too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fill me in on that one when you get a chance. Okay. We also had a couple things on eBay we wanted to talk about. But what do you guys say? Or just give us a love it or hate it in the chat. Give us
Okay,
a.
I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna go like in the middle. I don't want to do wonk wonk wonk. I don't want to do yes, it's there. It's kind of interesting, but why did it take 25 days after that, or 25 days after the blaze, or what's 25 days if you're going there with confidence in that spot? Why 25 days? What do you say, good sir?
Okay, love it or hate it in the chat. And it's just could there be a GPS in the poem? You may not agree with the numbers I used and the add up and stuff, but isn't it weird that those are legit numbers? We're not flipping. Somebody said, could you get numbers out of anagrams? I think that's too much. Some people might think 4 being the number 4 is too much. I don't know. It makes sense. Sarah Rock says 5 hearts. That's right. Or is that 10? Yeah, I was just wondering what people thought. No, Mark G says you're just having fun and that's cool. And yeah, we're having fun to do a show, but I think it's valid that it could be possible. And when you look, do I have to bring up Thrill the Chase and show you guys the hints for latitude, longitude in the book? You guys know where they are. Now Minotaur points out if it took 25 days for them to find it, coordinates were not involved. But what if they had the wrong coordinates? You don't know that those are the coordinates they use for 25 days. Maybe they had a number off.
Wait, what if the GPS coordinates take you to kind of a general area and then you still have to kind of go, you have to figure something out there, like getting around that fake blaze, silly searchers. You put a fake blaze, that's so mean. What's wrong with you? And you, and you. What's wrong with you people?
And that's what Nomadic Madman just said. Maybe he put the zeros in the wrong place and he got lost looking around a fake blaze. Yeah. He says he realized it was a fake blaze. He probably spent 3 weeks in the wrong area. And wrong area could be 100 feet away, 200 feet away. You're looking for a 12-inch by 12-inch box. So it's just an idea. Yeah, okay, Tony. And hopefully from the finder one day, we will know if this had any merit or not. Was there any GPS?
I think there's a lot more. So people have been messaging me. There's a lot more in that article. People can really get a lot of good information. Finder, and I am going on record. I think it was a group, and I think the Women Finder wrote that, and that's how we get around the article.
Yeah, but after that, it took him about a month to realize.
There you go. There you have it. There it is. That's what I have to say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, that's 1 hour, everybody. I want to show, we haven't done eBay in a while. Me and Capro don't have anything on eBay, but there are a couple things some people have. And there it is. Homophone, everybody. 2 seconds. He uses seconds right in the thing. Untangle the numbers. Untangle the poor phone card. Sound probably gets distorted. Yeah, it's just, is that what he's trying to tell us or not? But in eBay, we've got a Thrill the Chase, which is signed by Mr. Forrest Fenn for $30. You remember when these were going for 120? $30. If anybody, to Michael O'Connell. So this is, in fact, Michael O'Connell's Thrill the Chase that he's putting up on eBay. $30. But the other one that's a special edition is he's got TP Smoke that has the bronze, what do you call it? George Dabbich bronze on the cover. And this is number 76. So this special edition TP Smoke with a Silver Crow Indian by George Dabbich emblazoned on the cover, and an etching by Joseph Henry Sharp. 100 copies. This is number 76 and signed by Forrest. So this is up there for $750. And yeah, pretty cool. And I was wondering, are there any searcher coins on here? Forrest Fenn coin. Hey, there's one. We got the 2019 coin, I'm assuming with no number, for $97.50. We still have a number 878 for $350. I think this has been here a while. We've got number 878, and we've got 818 for $350 or best offer. And then look at this. All three.
How is 878 silver?
No, it's not. Bronze. Oh. The one above it is.
It looks funky. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's bronze, and this is bronze. And we've got all 3 books for buy it now for $128. I won't remember when they'd go for what, $250, I think. All 3 of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunting books. So yeah, how things change. And there's 2 for 165. So so you just never know. You got to shop around when you buy stuff, I guess. Oh, and then here's pretty cool. If anybody wants a memento, it's a Thrill of the Chase kind of a wall plaque about Yellowstone. And now that it was in Wyoming, I mean, it's a good chance it was in Yellowstone. So $350, kind of cool. Okay. I thought we had something else, K-Pro, but I just can't remember it.
I usually have a list, and I say, Mike, you forgot this on the list. I am not listening right now because there's so much going on. And Mike, you should be saying thank you. I was struggling a lot.
You're gonna have to go around.
I need it happen because my man asked me to, and I listened. I love Cherish and Obey. What's that? It's beautiful.
Yeah, I guess I should bring that up. So at the end of our other video where we went like 3 hours, I kind of intimated something at the very end there. There's no details, everybody. If there's any actual plans or details, if something else is going on World Series of Fenn weekend, we will let you guys know. But as of right now, there's nothing that we can talk about. So sorry, do the. But if it happens in the future, if something like that were to happen, we would let you know for sure. Of course, but get out here, World Series of Fenn weekend, which is going to be January 29th. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to put those lat long coordinates in the chat just in case anybody wants it. Sarah Rocks, we do not have any of the topo maps available, and we no longer have any of the Forrest Fenn wall maps from Too Far to Walk either. All that stuff's gone. The books are gone. Coins, I don't even know if we have a couple coins left. I know there's a video that K-Pro has that we'll have to show one of these times, but not tonight, about what she did with her coin.
Oh, I need to hold her.
Yeah, okay. They're doing secrets over there, I'm sure. Yeah, Bobby D, we are going to do a Zoom tonight, and we can do it on, I was thinking on Chasing Indies Hocus Pocus. What do you guys think? That's a new one. But we can do it on Vegas Die. We can do it on whatever you want. Too late. I already checked. Your registration at Dillard's. Ah, that's hilarious. Dillard's. I've been in that store. That's a Michigan thing. Okay, everybody, I think that's it. I hope you like the solution question mark. I know somebody said, oh, another hyped up title that has nothing. It's solution question mark. It's a possible solution. You don't have to like it, but it is, in fact, a possible valid solution.
No, you have to
until
like it
proven otherwise. You don't have to like it, but you do have to thumbs up the video.
What are we going to call this? Lat long? The other one was called Try the Wheel. Let's go lat long.
Oh, GPS coordinates. Yeah, coordinates. Yeah, lat long coordinates, right. Lat long coordinates in the poem. We do still have Chaseopoly, Nomadic Madman. Chaseopoly is $34.99 is what we're selling it for. I know, like, it was $20 in Yellowstone. Well, it costs $20 for me to ship it. So anybody that's interested in Chaseopoly, just email me at chaseopoly@gmail.com. You guys heard that awesome song in the beginning of the show, right?
Okay, I have done my duty. I need to sign off because everything's kind of pretty loud.
If we're not at that trailhead and we never saw that sign, then we don't know.
Okay, so thank you guys. We'll be here a couple more days. We got
still parking in the picnic area, so there's no truck parked at the trailhead parking.
She'll be doing a video, I'm sure. And
still walk down
if
along
anybody
the
wants to
road,
know my favorite search
like,
partner in the world,
we're not necessarily going there. We're going somewhere.
All right. Thanks, K-Pro. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's rough from the bar. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If K-Pro is back, we will go live Thursday. If she's not back by Thursday, maybe we won't. Won't be back by Thursday? Okay. Then maybe we'll wait till she gets back. So maybe we'll skip Thursday, but just go live over the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. It depends if we have any breaking news between now and then. You never know. We might.
There's some stuff going on in this town.
And I got the Great U.S. Treasure Hunt. They reached out. They want to talk or maybe do a show. So we'll do a show with them. Their treasure hunt comes out on October 30th. Or October 31st. And yeah, Nomadic Madman says a final solution would make me happy. And that's all we're trying to do, guys, is we're trying to come up with some.
And you know what? We gave the finder plenty of time. So there's some things that I think are going to come out. So, hey, Finder, you guys had plenty of time. Finders, if that's your real name. I think some things are going to be coming out soon. That's just my guess. I'm hearing stuff third hand. It's rumor. It's just, you know, I have an opinion. You can't stop me from having an opinion. That's shut up. So, and that's what we have going on. Okay. So thanks, guys. I'm going to go hang with Justin and Cynthia. That's all that's here now.
Tell them I said hi. Somebody over there said hi.
I will. Bye, guys.
All right. See you. And that's it. That is, in fact, the solution to the poem. Why do I look orange? What is going on with my lighting? Do I look orange right there, Eric? No, I don't look orange. I look red. No? Okay. Eric says I don't. So, yeah, now he sees himself. He looks red. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will go live sometime later on in the week when K-Pro's back and we can find all about how her trip went. And here we go.
At the kitchen table by the pepper and the salt, you can begin your adventure where the warm waters halt. No harsh sun, no rain that pours. Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. It's safer and it goes much faster. It's more fun than playing canasta if you're wise and you find the blaze. You can play several times in just one day. Chase awfully, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase. Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.